Hello YouTube, Scamp the Wolf here, back with another video for your view and pleasure, and we got an album review again, this time for VOLA's album Friend of a Phantom. Just came out on Spotify just now, and will be out November 1st. If you are watching this video, it's probably already out, so yeah, what do I know? Yeah, VOLA. Pretty excited for this album. I got into the band from their last album, Witness. I thought that album was very good. Made my top 5 of that year it came out, 2021. I had known about VOLA since 2018, and Witness was the album that really got me into the band. I still listen to songs from that album to this day, like Napalm. I love that song. Definitely one of the best songs that VOLA has out there. But this new one, Friend of a Phantom, um, this one is pretty much a continuation of what that album had in store. A lot of like electronic sounds and stuff like that. Like this feels kind of like a more modern rock album, like with a little bit more substance in the lyrics and stuff like that, which definitely would make this a welcome trend for modern rock. Like would make it welcome in that genre, but they're not gonna catch anything like this on mainstream rock radio, which is kind of unfortunate. But hey, it's what it is. So yeah, that's pretty much like what to expect from this album. It's pretty much like the same thing as Witness, and at the same time, that's kind of a detriment to it because like didn't do too much different from that album, and like overall as a follow-up to a highly successful album, at least critically, I mean in my opinion, like as a follow-up it doesn't completely follow it up the best way possible, but songs on it still pretty good in my opinion. Still a very good album. Definitely pales in comparison a little bit to the last album. It's still pretty good. Definitely exciting with the first track, Cannibal, which is featuring the vocalist from In Flames. That's a good opening track. Same could be said for Break My Lying Tongue. Although the synth work on that is irritating, in my opinion, this is the best that they've ever done, in my opinion. Like, the instruments are all there, just the synth is really loud in the mix, and that's kind of unfortunate for this song. If that wasn't there, I would probably like this song a whole lot more than I do. But overall, not bad. And then we get to We Will Not Disband, which is kind of typical of VOLA. Like, this is kind of like a cross between ballady and heavy, kind of, sort of, from what I remember. Like, that's very good. And yeah, it's very good as well. Glass Mannequin's a little bit softer, but it works very well, I think. Glass Mannequin is a solid track for sure. And the same could be said for Bleed Out. This is probably one of my highlight tracks on the album, aside from the lead single Paper Wolf, which was released last year. And yeah, these two tracks I feel like are really good. Like Bleed Out really feels like they're going for it somewhat with like a lot of like the instruments and like how this song progresses from beginning to end. This kind of feels kind of like a Red song, kind of, sort of, without orchestral elements or whatever, kind of. But maybe that's just me. I mean, this is kind of like, this album is kind of like that kind of sound meets progressive, and it's very creative in my opinion. Like, definitely some solid lyric work here too. Like, the lyrics on this whole album were very good. I will say that much. And then we get to I Don't Know How We Got Here. Also, another pretty good track. This is also kind of softer, which there's an abundance of like softer tracks on the album too, which is something that is really noticeable as you listen. And then I really feel like that the first 7 tracks on the album, like pretty much a good majority of the album, like it's good. It's a really good. And then we get to some tracks that are kind of like lower tier, not the best tracks on the album. Like, not like when I say the first 7 tracks, like I meant the first 6 tracks because "Break My Lying Tongue" isn't like the best song ever. Like, that's beside the point. Um, then we get to "Hollow Kid" and "Trey," and these songs really don't do much, in my opinion, to like really like do anything different than what has been done before. In my opinion, I know I say "in my opinion" a whole lot, but that's just what it is. Um, I just don't feel like Hollow Kid, especially, just really doesn't. This really just isn't the best song. Like, it's probably my least favorite on the entire album. And they try to do things here that don't really work for me, and overall the song is just mid. But the rest of the album, though, aside from like a very like kind of degrading, like kind of like mid-ish closing section of the album, the rest of the album is pretty strong. It just isn't as strong as Witness, I think, and maybe some of their earlier material as well. Um, so yeah, that's kind of my short opinion on this VOLA album. I think it is very good. Probably will make my top 10, probably, or at least my honorable mentions in the top 10. I don't have a lot to cover for this year, so this is pretty solid, definitely, for sure. So, score, I was thinking 7, but I'm gonna give it an 8, just because I'm being somewhat generous right now. So there we go, 8 for Vola's new album, Friend of a Phantom. But what did you think of this album from Vola? Let me know in the comments section down below. Of course, it's always good. This is Scamp the Wolf signing out. Take care, everybody.